Hey guys, Fusebox back on Raid Shadow Legends, and we're gonna go over gear cleansing. And I actually made a video a few days ago, and I've just been so busy I couldn't edit it. And I wanted to throw in how difficult it is to act. Everybody's different. Everybody's account is different. We'll get into that, and I'm gonna show mostly me cleaning Bruiser's account. I think it's gonna pair up with more with people who are interested in getting better at gear cleansing, I guess. And it's so difficult because, like, on my account, I've got to come through here. I've got to clean. You can see I'm almost full, and you'll see so many rolled up pieces. I've already tested so many of them. So many of them landed good. You know, you see attack, crit rate, crit damage on a lot of these pieces, and I have to go by a whole different criteria. I've actually got to come in here and get rid of some of these pieces, the ones that didn't roll as good as the others. So it's definitely different between accounts. Here's a piece that probably will go. I could do that right now, but it's going to take forever for me to sell. So I wanted to talk about a few of the quick goals. First thing you do is assess your account. We will kind of go over that in this video. Go through it twice. Make 2 passes, because the first pass you'll see on Bruisers, I'm leaving some pieces that are questionable, and then on the second pass, after going through his gear, I know that I don't have to value just crit rate as high as I originally thought, and I'll sell those pieces, or I'll test roll them to 4. If they don't hit perfectly, they're gone. So it's more about thinking the gear through than which pieces to sell, but this might give a lot of people an idea on at least where to start, because when you have 1,300 pieces, there's no way you need that much equipment, and you do need the silver to roll up the best of all this gear. So it can be difficult. Like, I see one here, it's just not rolling right. That's one I need to sell. And it gets harder and harder the further you get, but you'll get a feel for where you're at and what you need. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a long video, but there's only one way to get through this, and that's to actually talk it out. Hey guys, Fusebox back on Raid Shadow Legends, and we're going to go over gear cleansing. And I'm on Bruiser's account. He's going to let me clean up some gear. His silver, at least the way he normally stands, is kind of low. And then we're going to take the gear left over, do some test rolls, describe how to do this yourself. Because let me tell you, cleaning gear is not as easy as it sounds for most people. You have to be brutal with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. And you have to give up some hard-earned items, because they're really a waste of silver and time. So we'll get into it. And then we're going to murder out a couple of his heroes. He's ready to kind of step up his game. But when you're doing this, do this to yourself. I do a lot of other people's accounts, and so I have to know where they stand, because it is different for everybody. So go and check, do a self check, go to your dungeons, see where you stand. Is level 20 on, is it clear and good to go? Clearly he's got a level 20 dungeon run. And he looks like he's probably solid on 25, but needs a faster team. If this is a decent time to run stage 20, so he's got that on lockdown. We haven't completed 25, so we're getting a feel for where you are, or he is, or anybody is in the game. So he's got 20 on lockdown, and definitely not on lockdown for 25. So he needs, you know, that's the first test you want to do. The little bit of a examination, self-examination. Are you still progressing? He has room to grow. So we know kind of what kind of gear we're looking at. So let's get in here, and when you're checking yourself, let's start with a little test that's going to let you know everything you need to know about what you need to be keeping. Go to your chests, hit attack percentage for nukers. Okay, he's only got 2. He's only got 2 in his bag at this moment. I'm gonna hit equipped, and so he's got a lot of like low tier heroes, probably for faction wars, kind of geared out. So that's actually not a ton of attack chests. Okay, good thing we're doing this. So that means if we find an attack percentage chest in the wrong gear set, we're probably not going to go ahead and clean it. He needs many of those. He only has 2 options right now, so he needs more options. So let's check HP percentage. Let's unequip. So we have a pretty reasonable array of HP chests, right? Not many that I want to clean, but there's enough to where if they're in a set that doesn't make sense, we can get rid of it because he has other options. And then we want to check defense percentage, and it looks pretty similar. He has a decent, this is actually pretty healthy looking. This is kind of what you want to see. Now, we'll get into it more, but this is a cruel set. It gives you attack percentage and it ignores defense. This is for attack-based damage dealers. There's really good odds that these chests won't stay unless they have outrageously good stats. See this? There's no reason we'll keep it. We'll go over why in a minute. But this set is going to be gone. When he doesn't need a defense in retaliation, it could work out for a defense champ, but you wouldn't want to increase attack percentage, right? So we'll go over sets and how we go through it. We also want to check, and do it for yourself, crit damage gloves. We'll talk about crit rate gloves in a minute, but crit damage gloves is where you need to be. These are the gloves you're looking for most of the game, honestly. And he has a good arrangement, not many, not too many, but a good arrangement. And then look, we'll look at things like, do you have crit damage gloves in a curing set, right? I can think of like a random place you could use that. You could make a big damage dealer like Cardiel, who actually heals as he does damage, and you could actually make some use of a set like this. Now, before we go much further, good gear is good gear. That's why I'm doing this. If he has an attack chest but an immortal, I'm not going to sell it, because if it has crit rate under it and it has speed under it, it's still a good attack chest. It just won't end up being a part of a useful set. And because he doesn't have many, that would be super important to keep. So if you don't have many, now let's do this differently. Let's say that you have a ton of attack chests. Unless you're building 60 attack champions this month, you don't need those. So we're going to have to get rid of the bad ones. But crit damage gloves are important. He has enough to be building heroes, which is good and healthy. Now let's look for the Holy Grail crit damage gloves with crit rate under them. We've got a couple. I'm sure that the rest are equipped. Yes, he's got some equipped, so he's doing it pretty well. He's doing this pretty well. And then, after checking your crit damage gloves, if you don't have many, let's go ahead and check for crit rate gloves. These building damage heroes, if you have to, you have to. But when you're building damage heroes, I just saw a Skull Crown in crit rate gloves. She's not putting out her full potential. Your best damage will come from crit damage gloves, but crit rate gloves can be important, especially in things like a shield set. This is where you're building a high HP champion, but you do want them to at least crit. You're not going to pile up crit damage on them. You're not looking for that as a substat, but you want them to at least get that crit and kind of double their damage while they're attacking, right? So this is the kind of place I do want to see them. Immunity, we'll talk about it later. So we have a litmus test for kind of where you stand. He's got a good arrangement of crit rate gloves. A lot we could probably get rid of, because if they're in a damage set, I probably don't want them unless they have incredible rolls underneath them. So I'm going to come back and we're going to start cleaning up gear. Starting out, let's hit these bottom three, the ones that have percentage main stats. Let's hit flat stats. And right away, that's gone. Okay, stone skin, if it wasn't attack, you can do some interesting things with stone skin, but these are gone. Start with your flat stat chest, boots, and gloves. Those should be gone, except for speed set. We will talk about speed set in length, so sit through this. We'll try to make it fun. Most important thing, when you're cleaning your gear, after a few battles, you start to get a nice patina on them. So you don't want to strip that patina off. So when you're cleaning them, just take like a microfiber, just mist them real lightly. Take a microfiber cloth, kind of rub them down before you polish them. Now, all right, seriously. So get rid of those flat stats. In the speed set, if they have speed under them, hold on to those, because or the divine speed set, that could still come in handy. If you get a triple or a quad roll, that could speed up your arbiter, and you don't care about your main stats at all. You just need her fast, right? So speed sets are different. If there's speed under them, at least roll them up, see if you can hit speed a few times. Other than that, we got rid of our flat stats. Now let's get these off. Let's talk about attack percentage gloves. I go on a lot of accounts. People are rolling these up. Not what you want to do. If you want to do damage, you need crit damage. You will get your attack percentages in other places by doing things like this, but you're not going to be able to, you're not even going to probably crit cap, or if you crit cap, you're going to have no crit damage. Attack percentage gloves have a place, a very small place. You should only have a few at best in your entire account, and he doesn't have many, which is good. It's going to be for bomb layers, is about it, where they don't need to crit. Like Lord Shazar is different. He needs to crit, he needs crit damage, and he needs all that stuff, a high attack. But I already know he does not have, so we can go ahead and start here. And you're not looking for the normal stuff. You don't, crit rate and things like that. Attack gloves in an avenging set. Yeah, they're just not something you want. I'm gonna keep his 6-star. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep a frenzy set and this one avenger set in case he gets a bomb layer. Those are 6-star with some decent substats. But you don't need but a handful of those. There's no way you're gonna build out that many champions that are just there to lay bombs, because they're only useful in arena. How many champions do you want to build out in nothing but attack, and that's all they can do is lay bombs? Another thing we need to talk about: boots. I see this a lot. Yes, HP, attack, and defense percentage boots, they do have a place in this game. It's kind of an in-game thing. Now, if you are still progressing, you can get by with some, but here's my suggestion. If they don't have speed under them, they're gone. That has speed. If he wants to try to roll that up, that's fine with me. Let's see. These, even in a speed set 6-star, the speeds, these are gone. These are gone. They have wonderful substats, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I do like those substats. These has bad substats anyway. See, here's one that's rolled up and there's no speed added. It would be so hard to get crit damage out of somebody, and these aren't very good rolls anyway. It's easier to do it to somebody else's. You got to make yourself make these choices. This has speed. If it has speed, it is worth it. Look, see, there's a good set of boots. That's a good set of boots. A triple roll on speed with HP percentage, that can get somebody really rolling, whether they need crit damage set or not. That's a good set of boots to finish out a high HP champion that you want to be 200 speed with crazy HP. No speed. No speed. Blue, you can at best get 2 rolls on speed. We're not going to worry with that. No speed. So you kind of getting the idea. I'll let him roll his, if it's got speed, I'll let him roll it up. See, look at these boots. It's not going to happen. I know it's a 6-star attack percentage. You got to be brutal with yourself. That's not going to happen. There's speed there. I'll take his shot. That piece has potential. And the further you get in the game, with 1 or 2 hits on speed, that could be enough. But if you're early game or still progressing, kind of forget about these boots for the most part. So real quick, let me finish this out. Real quick, let's talk about perception gear and all this gear that you make in this rare gear. People kind of hold on to it a little more than they should, right? So don't overqualify certain gear. There are some special sets. You heard me talking about Savage. It can be really hard to come by. Those are specifically for damage dealers, which, keep in mind, you're like arena nukers. They're not as fast as you think. The rest of the team is fast, but you build them out to be a nuker. They're usually like 160 with tons of attack and tons of crit damage, tons of crit rate. So there are cases in special sets to keep some of those. So let's do a test on speed. Also, I just want to see how are we sitting on speed boots. He obviously knows to keep those because every hero in the game, especially to a certain point, will have these on. So that's good. We know where he's at. We've already cleaned a lot of gear just by doing a few simple things. So let's real quick go up to the top and we can talk about some different types of sets. HP set. Not looking for attack damage. I'm looking for things like HP percentage, speed, crit rate. Combinations of those two in almost any combination for where he's at. We'll give a chance anything that has 2 good. Let's start looking through it. Hit sell. Here's a nice legendary piece with HP percentage, crit rate, and speed. If it hits among these 3 all the way, this is a great piece. So we're not going to sell that. We've got speed and no HP percentage. That's gone. Just stop worrying about it. There's no point worried about. We'll find speed rolls in the speed sets or among pieces like this first one with speed on it. We don't want to roll that hoping for speed and have very little else to look forward to. Crit rate, crit damage, that's a good combination for an HP champion. It is a 6-star, so we'll give it a shot. Crit rate and HP. That's two good ones. If we roll it up to 8 and we hit one of these twice, it's going to be sold. And I'll do that later behind the scenes, or maybe a few with you. Crit rate, HP percentage, and speed with resistance. This could be, it's 5-star, but for a 5-star, that could be an amazing piece, right? Keep that. So let me real quick. This is an HP set. That's the reason I'm following these rules. You might as well watch a few of them. This has HP percentage. If you roll that all 3 times, it could be a decent piece. But there are better sets for HP like Immortal. And I know that he does a clan boss daily, so I'm going to be a little harsher here. We're not going to keep a lot of this gear. Speed, HP percentage could play out good. It's 6-star. HP percentage, speed, crit rate, another good one. So let me finish this out. You kind of see the way we're going here. Only speed. This isn't where we're looking for speed. We don't want to. We got plenty of pieces with speed on them. Crit damage, don't weigh heavily into it. You need crit damage on your gloves, crit rate on these items. Now there are a really good item for sure. It's fine that it's on there, but this one only has HP and speed. Actually, that's good. If we hit those two, HP and crit rate could be good. Just HP, it's gone. Speed is not enough. Not enough. Oh, if that was HP percentage, could be a good piece. We may come back through and thin this out later too, even more. But no, if that was HP percentage. Okay, let's talk about accuracy chests and resistance chests. You're gonna want a few. But you're gonna want to be very picky on those. Now, I do a lot of account takeovers, and early game, there are people without great haul and without banners. You will, if you're in that position, you will want to keep pretty good amount of accuracy chests handy until you get everything going and you're beating Spider 20 pretty consistently. You've got your great haul up, so make sure they have really good stats before you keep them. This just does not. If that was crit rate, we might be actually talking about, it's got HP percentage too though. Speed and HP with resistance, we can give that a shot. He's already got some speed boots rolled up. We can close that up. Now let's talk about attack sets, and we'll go over the other sets when they fit in. We'll just skip them because we've already done them. So here we're looking for crit rate. Right now, I'm telling you, if there's not crit rate on it, it is going to be difficult for me to keep it. If it has really good stats with crit damage, we'll hold on to it because it does have potential to pair up with pieces that had triple rolls of crit rate. But crit rate is pretty much a must on a damage build. There's not enough here. Not enough here to roll for crit damage. It's gone. Gone. Crit rate and HP. We'll see how his crit rate looks because he may need lots of crit rate roll gear. Just for the crit rate, I will keep it. Not just for the speed, but for the crit rate, I will. Crit damage, attack percentage, crit rate. Almost a perfect piece. If this, honestly, that could be a perfect piece. It really could. Resistance could be better, but we'll take it, right? So this is a great piece. It's 5-star, but other than that, it's a great piece. This is a great piece too. All 3 of the best stats you want for an attack set on an attack champion. This is the piece that you want to get excited about. If it had speed on that one, it would be even better. Nothing here. Crit rate and attack percentage. Even though it's blue, it's 6-star, and it could definitely help him out. No crit. See, he was looking for attack, but what good is it if you're not critting, right? Yes, bomb layers. We're gonna not talk about bomb layers anymore. So this is one, if it doesn't hit crit rate like damn near 3 in a row, it's out the window, but we'll give it a shot because it could get a triple roll and it may really help him out with a set that doesn't have crit rate on it. We haven't seen a piece yet that why would I not save this one and I would save the other one? Because this is a 4% roll, which means that we're already starting out smaller than a 6% roll. So we're going to keep this, but this one's starting to fall off, right? All it has is crit rate and it's a smaller roll. We get speed and attack, no crit rate. No crit rate. Same thing with everything in this set pretty much. We have crit rate, we'll give it a shot. It's 6% too. A 6-star with crit rate, crit damage, absolutely great. The defense is kind of a bummer, but same thing here. Could roll good. Crit rate and speed, good combination as long as we hit the right ones. Crit damage, accuracy, crit rate, useful piece. No good. No good. Yeah, they're both 4%, but we'll see where he stands before we just sell him. We've got HP gloves, but why did those... See, you don't need HP gloves in an attack set without speed on them. They can't be good at all, so they're gone. Resistance with crit rate could be a piece that he needs in a very special spot, and then speed. So you see how we handled that. Let's sell those. We'll make it silver too. We can close that one, and as you go through defense can be different. We still like crit rate and speed and crit damage because defensive characters can hit. But there are some heroes like just great support heroes that you want tanky and fast and nothing else matters, maybe some accuracy. That means if we find speed with HP percent, defense percent, particularly defense since it's a defense set, these could get exciting without crit rate. So I don't know where the rest of his account stands, so we're going to roll some of this up later. Crit rate, we're going to hold on to it. Speed and crit rate for sure with accuracy. Go back to sell. Speed and crit rate. So this piece, if it had speed, possibly could work with big HP rolls, speed rolls, and being a defense set, but it didn't. Crit rate, again, I want to see where he stands. That might be a sellable piece. It's got HP, defense set, 2 rolls on crit. So we're going to go ahead and keep it. That's where I feel this account is anyways. If we hit crit rate enough, maybe. This piece could be with speed. If speed rolls twice, we've got HP and a defense set. It could be okay. Nothing here. I just don't know if we can keep going with nothing but crit rate. I really don't think we should. So let's keep going. Crit, HP percentage. So this could be, if we get enough rolls on the crit rate and some on HP percentage for some tanky hero that hits hard, this could be good. Could be. That could be good. Not so good. No speed under it. We got crit rate and defense. This could be solid for a defensive hero. And so let me finish this set up. So let's talk about different sets. Speed set, lifesteal set, things like stun and cursed, even frost and frenzy. These sets are unique because they could be for a damage dealer. They could be for, like, a frenzy set on a damage dealer is amazing. They take damage, they start getting more turns. It also could be great for a support champion. So you want to be careful what you're looking for in there. Not just crit rate and speed, but a combination of speed with high HP, high defense could also be good for a support champion. As they take damage, they speed up, maybe accuracy rolls. But each piece, look at it as a support champion that needs to move fast or a damage champion through. And then don't get trapped on some like this divine offense. Is that the one? It gives you a shield per HP. Don't let HP percentage be the reason you keep it. This is a horrible piece. This is a horrible piece. It's gone, Bruiser. It's gone. This is a horrible piece. See, like, it had crit rate, it had attack, and it had HP. This made sense, but if it would have hit a crit rate, it would have looked a lot tastier. It still has one more roll, but you're not looking for that HP in this set. This is still a damage dealing set. It just offers protection. And don't overlove. Let's see how this looks. Actually better than most. Just because you made them doesn't mean you have to keep them. I'm telling you, just because you made them doesn't mean you have to keep them. A lot of people have a ton of this from the clan boss and a ton of this. And I'm gonna real quick, I'll come back. I'm gonna sell all this crap. Let's see how low we get. Though crit sets can be useful, typically you're using them because you don't have enough crit rate, which means you're going to be lacking on attack. Here's a piece worth talking about. You see these substats and you think, sweet. But if you need crit rate and crit damage, you don't want HP percentage gloves. If you need the crit rate and crit damage, you probably want crit rate or crit damage gloves and HP everywhere else. It's just a harsh reality. Plus, it's in kind of a horrible set anyways. We're looking at, let's sell all this. He actually was holding on to a lot. And I think other people might do that too. Where's the other crit rate? What is it called? Divine crit rate. I wonder if it's got a whole bunch of gear in it too, because it seems so valuable. But in reality, though it's boosting your crit rate, it's doing it at the expense of not getting the bonus from other sets. Don't get me wrong, a good piece is a good piece, but let me keep clearing this out because we can easily get this whittled down, have a bunch of gold, and we're going to murder out some heroes. I also want to add So when you're an immortal and you find an attack chest in a nice HP, set, or vice versa, you're in the cruel set, but you find an HP chest. I know people are like, man, that would be great on a Mountain King. And it is. He has a Mountain King. But in the end, remember, how many Mountain Kings do you have? You only need like 1 or 2 of those chests. And if you're not rolling it up and using it, you might as well sell it. So maybe hold on to one, see if it's an improvement to the one you got. But there's not a whole lot of heroes that need attack mixed with HP. So just keep in mind how many heroes actually are ever going to need that gear before you just keep hoarding it. Might as well turn it into silver and turn the rest of your gear into something nice. So immortal set, resistance is just something you don't need. You're already in, not immortal, in a immunity set. The point of it is to not worry about resistance. So things like that, keep in mind too. Real quick, the simplistic way to think about it, when you're going through your gear, you either are looking for fast and tanky or high damage, nothing else. So if it doesn't have crit rate or speed, it's probably a horrible piece of gear. And then when you have crit rate or speed, you need to match at least one, or if you're further along, 2 other useful stats along with it, like your main stat and crit damage. Or if you're looking for fast and tanky, you're looking for defense percentage, HP percentage, and speed. So basically, if you follow those 2 criteria, you're going to get through most everything. We've made a ton of silver, and we're not done. Now you want to watch it. I'm going to roll up some key pieces. We're going to use that silver we just earned. Everything in this bag is at least worth rolling up now. Now, what do we get for rolling up all that gear, selling it all, and then trying it on? We're going to try to fix this 539 on stage 25 real quick. All right. So we put together a team. All of these are completely rebuilt. Should be a pretty easy wipe. So 9 seconds, first wave down, full reset. So we can expect the second wave down in about under 20 seconds or so. 18, they're down. And now we've got Tomb Lord who can easily solo this. Plus we got the damage coming in from everybody else. So 2 minutes and 7 seconds from 5.5 minutes. I don't even know if it was consistent. And we're slowed down because we got some slow buffers, but an amazing team. All right, so we had a lot of fun on his account, but unfortunately it was days ago and I've been busy day and night. We ended up beating pretty much every dungeon. We took Ice Golem from, I think it was 9.5, almost 10 minutes to a 2-minute run, just from one gear cleansing. And he did just happen to have built up his seer. So we made a team that can pretty much clear any dungeon with one substitute, depending on the boss. But you get a lot out of gear cleansing, not just opening up your bags. If you're going to set a goal for yourself, if you're really struggling, try to get your bag half empty at least. Around 700 pieces, somewhere in there, even less. If you're really, really trying to up your game, make sure you're keeping the best of the best. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something or maybe a new way to think about gear. And feel free to drop ideas down below on how you go through things because everybody does it different. I mean, there's no doubt everybody does it different. The end result will show up in your progress. Anyways, thanks for sitting through it. And until next time, enjoy the grind.